EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us in downtown New Orleans at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints. The final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On the ground, Kamara. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Set the tone, defense. Where'd he go? Right there. 54. Right there. 54, Mike. We ain't giving him nothing.
On 3rd and 2, Floyd. Open man is Michael Thomas. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 42.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rate. And the Kamara has it stripped.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Let's go. Ed Reed. Check. Watch 54. Let's go, 1-1.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Here we go, G.
Back to throw. Floyd. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 12-yard line. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this. And, hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Operating from the gun, Floyd. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Lutz good on the extra point. And it's now a 7-0 game. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, first and 10 at their own 25-yard line. From the shotgun, Wilson trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. We thought this defense would be opportunistic, and they were. Here, you're already up. Now you got a 2-touchdown lead. I tell you, going out there on defense, did they have a little bit of extra momentum with a score already on the board?
Oh, without a doubt. That already felt good to them. They took it and used it and obviously put up another one. But here's the thing now. Some defense coordinators might want to pull their guys back a little bit because they don't want them to make mistakes because they're too overamped. Others say, I've got 2-touchdown lead. Go get them, guys. They'll be even more aggressive.
At their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On second and 11 now. Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. A first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from down in Arizona, and the early lead there belonging to the Cardinals. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Floyd. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Well, let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Looking to throw. Floyd. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. Give him 2 yards on that play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end. But running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. From the gun, Floyd. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And his guys will take over at their own 40. 44-yard line. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 21-yard line.
Mike 5-4. Let's get the ball.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Give them 18 there, and the Saints have a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Back to throw. Floyd. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. On second down, Kamara. And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
Off the play fake. Floyd. Going for Hilton, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Jennings was the one he was looking for, and it's second down.
Loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 33-yard line.
Got it. Here we go. 47's the mark, boy. 47.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll pull it down. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
Well, should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Thomas, the intended target. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half, and you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here, but he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
First down,
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football, we're not seeing it right now.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Hey, we got to get this stop here, D.
2nd and 13. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The target that time, Michael Thomas. And it's 3rd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined. But sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Floyd. And he's got his man Hilton. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 18 there, and the Saints have a first down.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line.
On 1st and 10, Floyd. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's what he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. A well-executed 22-yard gain. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to hold that one in.
To throw on 3rd down, Floyd gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Here we go. Here we go. 18 Gator. Mike's 49. Mike's 49. Here we go.
Operating from the gun. Floyd to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. 2nd and 15. Steps away to his left. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on 2nd down.
On 3rd down, here's Camaro. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime.
54. Mike 54. You ain't going nowhere.
They'll try to run this one in, and he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 38, and they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Come on, D.
Off play action. Floyd. Flush to his right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Looking to throw. Floyd. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Right there. 54. Right there. 54 Mike. Hey, let's get that ball.
From the gun. Floyd. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week, as his first one here's away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you get this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. much more like lead.
11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
36 power.
Final play of the half. It's Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Stay with your man. Under 10.
Here's Wilson to throw. And incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Wilson leaves this one with Penny. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the second time. So this is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
It's our time.
Operating from the gun, Floyd. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. The Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Penny. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13. Well, CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed, getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast, the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
At the Saints' 22-yard line.
Green 80. Check. Hey, 0.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. Hate to say it, but that play typifies what we've seen from this offense all game long.
Yeah, don't you think maybe you flip over your play sheet as the offensive coordinator and see the side that says try something different? Because this has not worked all game long. They continue to try and get it done. They've got to come up with something a little bit different. Try something special, something they haven't seen.
Anything to score a point. They'll wind up getting 8, but it's not enough. Fourth down. On comes the Seahawk kicker here on fourth down. It's Jason Myers. Myers' kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Let's go now. 54. Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
On first down, Floyd. Flushed out right. Now the ball comes loose, and the Seahawks have recovered.
Well, let's be frank. You hate the fumble at the end of the play. But prior to that, I liked a lot of what was going on. Tucks it down, takes off, picks up good yardage. But in that portion of the field, that close to the sideline,
step out.
Yeah, either get down or get out of bounds. Take care of the ball.
Yeah, he had the yards, but then the mistake. Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Go, go, go. Kill, kill, kill.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Fights loose. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to take off with it. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
A gain of 6 yards. And it's third.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
25, 56 to Mike.
Now Wilson operating from the gun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. This one angles out of bounds at a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Three quarters have come and gone, and that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here's Matt Weil now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. Now it's Lockett. Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And an alley to run. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quitting him.
0.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Throwing on 2nd down, Wilson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Unfortunately for you, you've been around me for a little while now, so you know me as well as anyone and how I look at a game. I don't ever advocate abandoning anything, but in this case, I'm going against my own thought process. You got to change it up. You got to start throwing it around a little bit, finding ways to try and move the ball, because keeping on the ground.
And my goodness, another interception. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. The Saints 1st down there on a gain of 11. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 37-yard line.
Set. 10 Tucson. Let's go, D.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. It's caught. Smith. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The offense on 3rd down tonight? They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. They're looking at third and a few inches. And this one complete to Smith. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Dancing to his left. He's going to take off with it. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. It's a gain of 34.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him. And he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
Now a play fake here on first down. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Second down and goal. Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Will Dissly, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to close the gap just a bit. So he scrambled right, but was able to look back toward the middle of the end zone to find the target.
As you know, in this game, sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules because we all know most guys throwing the football are taught never throw back into the middle of the field on a scramble. He did it and got away with it for a touchdown.
Instinct sometimes, right? They just take over.
Instinct and vision. Sometimes you just see people who are open, you're able to get it to them.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And finally wrestled down at the 11. That one good for 33 and a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Able to stay in bounds, and the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll lead here to a third down.
Right. Check. Watch it before. Hey, get the weight room.
And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. The kick by Lutz is good. And that will get the lead up to 14. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still 8 up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands, congratulations, and move on. Because now, you're not going to make up for what's happened during the game in this last sequence.
We'll see what they do here in this last sequence. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Wilson buying time to his left. He's going to let it fly. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and it'll bring up 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Wilson. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now Wilson. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So this one a victory here for New Orleans. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for New Orleans, they move back over 500 now at 6-5. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Seattle, their luck may have run out as they fall to 4-7 now in the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.